Anyone who has seen an Airbus A380 understands how enormous it is. The aircraft measures 80 meters from wingtip to wingtip and 73 meters from nose to tail, and is certified to carry up to 868 passengers across 2 decks. But did you know there's an even bigger plane circling the skies? That plane is known as Antonov An-225. So let's start the video. The Antonov An-225 cargo lifter is exceedingly unique. In fact, just one was ever built. The massive aeroplane, which was originally designed by the Soviets to transport their space shuttle, is now used for charter cargo flights by Antonov Airlines of Ukraine. You'll need the world's biggest and strongest aeroplane, the Antonov An-225, to move an airliner across a continent without flying it, piggyback a space shuttle to its launch site, or ship Snoop Dogg's gigantic concert stage to Nigeria. Only one model was ever completed, and it was originally designed as an expansion of the Antonov An-124 to transport Buran-class orbiters. The aircraft was put on hold for 8 years after satisfactorily completing its military duty. After that, it was rebuilt and returned into commercial service with Antonov Airlines, transporting enormous cargo, while a second plane with a slightly different layout was largely completed. Production was repeatedly suspended due to a lack of financing and enthusiasm. In 2009, the second aircraft was brought up to 60 to 70% completion. With a payload capacity of 640 tons, the An-225 set multiple records, including being the heaviest aircraft ever built and having the longest wingspan of any operating aircraft. Due to its size and distinctiveness, the Mriya drew a large amount of public curiosity and gained a global following. Airports were frequently frequented by those who wanted to watch the scheduled arrivals and departures. The plane is 88.4 meters long from tip to tip and 84 meters long from nose to tail. That's 8.4 meters longer than the A380 from Airbus. 6 Ivchenko Progress D18T turbofan engines power the plane, 3 on each side. The An-225 was designed as a successor for the Myasishchev VMT to transport the Soviet Union's Buran space shuttle between launch and landing locations at the end of the Cold War. The An-225 is based on the previous An-124 Ruslan. However, it has more turbofan engines, a stronger floor, and a 32-wheel landing gear set than its predecessor. To haul its large quantities of freight, the An-225 uses 6 Progress D18 turbofans, each delivering 51,600 pound-feet of thrust. The world record for airlifting a single item payload, a gas power station generator weighing 418,834 pounds, and for airlifting a total payload of 559,577 pounds, are held by this massive plane. The wings aren't the only thing that's big. The horizontal stabilizer is 32.65 meters wide. The Airbus A320 family has a wingspan of 35.8 meters, which is just slightly larger than the horizontal stabilizer on the An-225. The massive nose opens upward to load a cargo, and a tongue-like cargo loading ramp unfolds. Here's a sped-up and reversed version of that 7-minute process. Only one part of this process requires manual intervention, unfolding the final section of the ramp. The cargo bay has 2 cranes, each capable of lifting 10 tons at a time. For cargo that can't be rolled in, the crew can load up to 30 tons of non-mobile cargo at once using auxiliary equipment. The massive cargo bay measures 43.32 meters long, 6.4 meters wide, and 4.4 meters tall on the inside, with a volume of nearly 1,300 cubic meters and 34,000 gallons. To give you an idea of how long this cargo bay is in aviation terms, the Wright brothers' first flight was shorter than this cargo bay. The gear is made up of 32 wheels, with 28 in the main gear and 7 rows of 4 in the secondary gear. The nose gear has 4 wheels. Antonov Airlines makes sure to carry spare wheels because the aircraft has so many wheels, and is the only one of its kind. It had 5 spares on board during its visit to ILA Berlin. Are you curious about the America West decal? Any flat metal surface has a lot of decals slapped on it. There aren't many windows in the cargo bay because it's not designed for passengers. During flight, there are just 4 strategically located portholes that enable for visual observation of the wings and engines. While the An-225 is a magnificent aircraft, the cockpit isn't exactly up to date. The monster requires a total of 6 cockpit crew members, 2 pilots and 4 engineers. Pilots and flight crew have 6 bunks in a cabin behind the cockpit where they can rest. There are 2 mini cabins, each with 2 fixed bunks and 1 fold-down bunk that can be used as a table. While a 6-person crew is required in the cockpit, an even larger crew is required to operate this cargo transporter. The An-225 has a total of 19 or 20 full-time crew members. Non-flight crew members have their own cabin and rest space, which they can enter via a narrow stairway in the tail. The Antonov An-225 is the world's largest cargo aircraft, with a maximum payload of over 250 tons and a cargo hold capacity of 1,100 cubic meters. To get its payload into the air, it needs 6 Ivchenko Progress D-18T turbofan engines. The gross weight limit is 640 tons. An Antonov An-225 carried the world's largest single piece of airlifted freight. To take off, the Antonov An-225 will need at least 3,000 meters of tarmac or runway. It will require 3,400 meters or 11,000 feet of tarmac or runway to land. In addition, the runway must be at least 200 feet long. The airlifter holds the absolute world record for single-item payload of 189,980 kilograms and total payload of 253,820 kilograms airlifted. On a commercial flight, it also carried a payload of 247,000 kilograms. The An-225 flew at an altitude of up to 10,750 meters over a closed circuit of 1,000 kilometers at a speed of 763.2 kilometers per hour on September 11, 2001, carrying 4 main battle tanks and a record load of 253.82 tons of cargo. The expense of hiring someone may be as high as $30,000 per hour. The largest single cargo item ever sent by air freight was loaded onto the An-225 on August 11, 2009. Its payload, a generator for a gas power plant in Armenia, coupled with its loading frame, measured 16.23 meters long and 4.27 meters broad and weighed a record 189 tons. On June 11, 2010, the An-225 flew 2 42.1-meter test wind turbine blades from Tianjin, China, to Skridstrup, Denmark, becoming the world's largest piece of air cargo. The Antonov An-225 Mriya costs between $250 million and $300 million, which is understandable given its one-of-a-kind ability to transport cargo that other planes cannot. According to Ukrainian officials, the world's largest aeroplane, the Antonov An-225, was destroyed during Russia's invasion of Ukraine, causing fear and regret in the aviation industry, where it enjoys nearly cult status. The massive aeroplane, known in Ukrainian as Mriya or Dream, was parked at an airfield near Kyiv when it was assaulted by Russian occupants, according to Ukrainian police, who added that the jet would be rebuilt. Russia may have destroyed our Mriya, but they will never be able to destroy our dream of a strong, free and democratic European state. We shall prevail, wrote Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba on Twitter. There has been no independent confirmation that the plane was shot down. The Antonov company claimed in a tweet that it couldn't confirm the plane's technical condition until it was evaluated by experts. Ukroboronprom, the Ukrainian state military firm that manages Antonov, said on Sunday that the plane has been damaged, but that it will be rebuilt at Russia's expense at a cost of $3 billion. The restoration is estimated to take over $3 billion and over 5 years, that statement said. Our task is to ensure that these costs are covered by the Russian Federation, which has caused intentional damage to Ukraine's aviation and the air cargo sector. According to the director of Antonov Airlines, one of the engines was dismantled for repairs and the plane wasn't able to take off that day. Although the appropriate commands were given, it said, on Friday, Russian forces claimed to have taken control of Hostomel airstrip, where the An-225 was stationed. Russian airborne troops were seen taking up positions by a CNN team on the ground. Maxar Technology satellite photographs show considerable damage to a section of the hangar where the An-225 is stored. Meanwhile, NASA's Fire Information for Resource Management System identified many fires at the airfield, including in the plane's hangar. According to NASA data acquired from a number of NOAA and NASA satellites, the fire at the hangar was discovered at 11:13 a.m. on Sunday. It's unclear whether the fires at the airport are caused by actual fires or explosions caused by military attacks. That's all for today. We hope you liked the video. If so, then do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Hope to see you in good health.